Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the January 15th board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Boyce?
At this time, I'd like to administer the oath of office to Ms. Christine Fabrizi. Christine, if you could please stand up and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kristen Fabrizi,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States and this state
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Kristen
Do
Fabrizi,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of Member of Board of Education,
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
nor disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A12-1,
nor disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Please be advised that adequate notice of this meeting in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meeting Act, has been provided by action of the Board of Education on January 3rd, 2019. Notice has been provided to the two newspapers circulating in the school district and a posted notice to this effect on the Board of Education Building Bulletin Board, Administrative Headquarters, 51 West Cliff Street, Somerville, New Jersey. Mr. Boyce, can we have roll call, please?
Mrs. Matthews.
Here.
Mr. Carlson.
Here.
Mrs. Olson.
Here.
Mr. Pontillo.
Here.
Dr. Sadin.
Here.
Mrs. Schweitzer.
Here.
Mrs. Van Horn.
Here.
Mr. Sergio.
Present.
Mr. Jess.
Present.
Mrs. Fabrizi.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open up the meeting for public comment on agenda items. Anybody has any input? I'll rush it once. All right. Seeing none, can I please have a motion to close the public session?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. May I have a motion for the approval of minutes for December 11th regular meeting and December 11th executive session, please? Thank you. May I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. As you can see this evening, there's some items that have been changed on the agenda. I had a discussion with Dr. Tian and Mr. Boyce, and we decided to try to move things around for a little bit. So one of the things we included was a board presence report in case there was anything that we wanted to talk about. So this evening, first I'd like to start off by offering some condolences to some of the staff members who've lost a member of their family over the past month. Scott Haid had an aunt who passed away, Isaiah Davenport, a grandmother, Jennifer Sayre, a grandmother, Nicholas Melissi, an uncle, Susan Moran, mother, and Melissa Stager, mother-in-law. So we just want everybody to know that we send our condolences and our thoughts are with you at this time.
Blessings to the families.
I'd also like to thank Mrs. Van Horn this evening. She has, for members of the public, 13 things school board members wish people knew about them. So if you haven't picked one up on the way in, I'd ask you to please pick one up. Ms. Van Horn, do you have anything you'd like to add to that, or?
No, it's just a lot of useful information and clears up a lot of misconceptions.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to know if we can add it to the board section of the website, so when people go to the Board of Education part of the website, so it's there permanently.
Good, thank you, Dr. Sagan, it's a good suggestion. Also, board members, please know that our financial disclosures are due, so I'd ask you to please make sure that you file them so we don't get yelled at. I'd like to thank Mr. Foley, who had a meeting on Monday of the student council, both the presidents and vice presidents in the high school. He's trying to get them all together. He had a team building session and a get to know me session on Monday, and this is to help him to get some changes in the high school and to get the students' input. And I thought that was really good. And the reason I know about it is because my daughter happens to be the vice president for the junior class, so she was very excited about that. So I'd like to thank him for doing that. And I know that Mr. Sergio is going to have an athletics report this evening, and I'm sure one item that he's not going to mention is the fact that both he and his son participated in the Disney marathon event over the past weekend, with Jean-Luc running the half marathon and Mr. Sergio running the marathon. And I think when was the marathon? Was it?
Well, the half marathon was Saturday,
Okay.
and the full marathon was Sunday. So.
And you finished today, correct?
I finished about an hour ago.
Okay.
So,
Congratulations. It's great to see you and Jean-Luc doing that together. I think that's
as you know, I
awesome.
barely made it because my legs were very slow to get.
So,
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, thank you, and I'll turn over to Dr. Tian.
All right. For district highlights, I'm turning it over to our VDV preschool to grade 2. They're having a presentation for you tonight, so you guys can take it away. I know you have some introductions you want to do.
Well, good evening, and my name is Patricia Hellwig. If you don't know who I am a teacher at Vanderveer. I am stepping in for Susan Moran tonight, and she would like you to know that she's so sorry she couldn't be here, as this is, as she has said before, one of her favorite meetings of the year. So our video tonight is an overview of what we love to do and who we are at Vanderveer, as spelt through the eyes and the heart of our students, our parents, and our teachers. Enjoy.
What is your favorite part of the day?
Choice time.
Why?
Because we get to pick whatever we want to play with. My favorite part of the day is writing, because we get to brainstorm all of the ideas in our head. My favorite part of the day is doing my daily journal, because I like to answer the questions. Math, because it is my favorite subject.
I like math because you get to figure out what the answer is.
Journal writing, because you get to write what you did in the weekend, and it's like really fun. Outside. Counting by 100 and math. My favorite part of the day is math. I really like practicing addition with my group. I always like using the Chromebooks to practice my math facts. I will come to school to see this happening. I am here because I see my teachers. I love Vanderveer because I get to read. I love Vanderveer because I love being a leader. My favorite part of the day is math, because my teacher asked me what is 5 plus 5 and I don't know the answer. My favorite part of the day is math. I like school because I get to see my teacher.
Why?
Doing about math because it showed me how to subtract science, because we learn space patterns and I love space patterns.
Reading. Because I like to learn about stuff if it's non-fiction, and I like learning about, if I go on Bion, and I like learning about
the Titanic. Okay. My favorite part of the day is math, because I can add. Reading, because I like to learn.
This song is for those who inspire us today, who always lend a helping hand to help show us the way.
So tell me, what are you proud of for learning?
Reading letters. I'm proud of that I can solve two-digit math problems. I learned to add and subtract. I learned about long vowel sounds. I'm proud of doing that. I'm proud that you can learn how to count. Something I'm proud of is reading books. Math, because I'm very good at math and I love to work quizzes and classes.
This song is for those who see their students through the tough times in their lives. For that we say thank you.
Okay, what do you love about writing this year?
Publishing, because I'm proud of my work. I love reading comics and I love making comics because they inspired me. I like comic books because all of my friends inspired me and some of them got me into writing comic books and now that's what I do. Sharing my stories, writing my pictures, making my sentences juicy, and publishing. Loving ideas because I like writing in my life notebook. I love drawing nicely. Drawing pictures. That we can make notebooks. I like when we make books with drawing and I like writing. I love writing because we make books. We love writing!
You have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have shaped our world. One child at a time.
What do you love about wind time?
Because the teachers make it like more fun. I like that they make it then kind of all the My favorite part of wind time is I get to walk to other classes.
Those who gave us a safe place to grow.
How do your grandson's teachers keep in touch with you?
Through a variety of ways, social media, and plus I see their teacher every day at pickup, so we can keep in touch that way.
The way I communicate with my child's teacher is through email. If I have a question or concern, I'll just shoot her an email real quick, and she's normally good with getting back to me that day. The way my child's teacher communicates to me is by telephone. If there's a concern or something happened at school, she'll give me a call. But if it's something simple and not a serious matter, she'll just send me a quick email, which is great for me because I have my phone on me all the time, so I can get back to her right away.
So my child's teacher communicates with us basically through notes that she sends home, as well as the literary center log, where my child rates herself and then the teacher gives feedback, as well as by email or phone whenever we need anything. Generally, when I need to speak with her, I will communicate with her via email, but I also know she's available via phone call and is always quick to respond. My child is excited to tell me about a lot of things when she gets home from school each day. In particular, she really loves her specials such as coding, art, gym. She really likes the additional stimulation and growth that these provide.
I like art because I like drawing and I can be creative. I like painting because of all the different shapes and colors. I like coding because you can code different things and play games. I like coding because you can make all kinds of cool stuff. My favorite thing about music is that I like to learn new instruments that I didn't know, and it's really fun. My favorite thing about music is playing instruments and learning about notes. I like gym because I get to play with my friends and we get to exercise and play soccer. I like gym because I get to meet new people and exercise and be around my friends.
A safe place to go, a place for us to call our home forever. We will know.
I'm proud to be a teacher at Vanderveer because we're encouraged to use our personal interests throughout the entire year. I've been a dancer since I was 3, and I've been given the opportunity to lead Zumba assemblies, help coordinate our music and movement night, and even coordinate a staff dance in our variety show every year.
I really love working at Vanderveer School because the staff here it feels like an extended family. They're very supportive of each other. They're there to help you when you need help. They're there to guide you when you need some guidance. They're there to just be with you.
I love the coworkers here at Vanderveer. They help me be the best I can be, and if there's anything I can't solve myself, they're always there to help me and guide me in the right direction.
I'm proud to be a Somerville teacher because I love who I work with. I have the privilege of working with the most amazing, hardworking students, and also with an incredible staff and preschool team that has become like family.
I love working with my colleagues here at Vanderveer. I feel like they are also my friends. They're willing to share everything that they make and they create, and if I need anything, all I have to do is ask.
Being one of the breakfast monitors with the students, I get to talk to them about things outside of the school. Some of them like to talk to me about their football games, or what they got for Christmas, or what their plans are for the weekend.
I am proud to be a Vanderveer teacher because I was once a Vanderveer student. It is so fun and it's so amazing seeing the kids learn and grow so much. It makes me so proud being a Somerville alumni and being able to come back here and be a teacher.
One of the main reasons why I'm proud to be a Vanderveer teacher is because we are encouraged to try new things and get a chance to learn.
I'm proud to be a Vanderveer teacher because I love how our grades are homework every day.
So what I love about my VDV coworkers, especially the kindergarten team, is that we're very collaborative. We share a ton of ideas, materials, and strategies to help grow our kids. I love the fact that we have wing time and that our teachers are able to meet with students in a variety of classes and many different ways.
My favorite part of the day is definitely discovery time. As you can see, it's the time during the day where the kids get to be creative and use different materials around the room to reinforce different concepts from the curriculum.
My favorite part of the day is reading to the children and listening to them read to me. I think reading will take them everywhere and help them achieve all their goals in life. So it's one of the most important things we do at Vanderveer.
What motivates me as a teacher is seeing my students' excitement for learning.
Seeing students grow and have success in different areas, and seeing students' progress over the course of the school year.
Seeing my students' reactions when they meet a goal and seeing how successful and happy they feel is what motivates me.
I'm also motivated by them seeing them grow up and having the confidence to try new things on their own.
In second grade, we love our students.
You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world. One child at a time.
Proud to be a Vanderveer grandparent because my grandsons are very proud to be students here at Vanderveer, and that makes me proud.
We absolutely love the teacher and we love the school. She has such a high level of engagement with her daughter, and not only with her daughter, but with us too. So there's clear expectations on what we need to do as parents to help support her learning at home, and what would be helpful for her and what would help her learn and grow. So we're really proud to be part of the Vanderveer community because we honestly believe that it's a learning community. And when I say this, I mean not just that how do you support the children to learn and gain new skills, but also the teachers themselves. If you follow them on Twitter, you can see that they're constantly looking for new methodologies, new ideas, etc. And they're growing as well, and they're getting better and bringing in the best to the classroom. And that's really something to be proud of, to be in a place where everyone wants to do better.
I'm really proud to be a Vanderveer parent because the teachers are so great. They care about the students, whether it's in the classroom or on the baseball field. They're always the students' biggest cheerleaders. They're always out there for our students, and they just show that they really truly are all in. My kids come home every day and they always tell me about their day, what they're excited about, that they learned about, or something new, something challenging, whether it's in science class or that they did basketball in gym or got to climb the wall. And they're always happy. They always come home with smiles on their faces.
What makes me proud to be a Vanderveer parent is that the school teaches kids not only academic skills, but also social skills such as kindness and compassion toward other people, which is really important for kids to grow into well-rounded adults.
As a former educator, I had some pretty high expectations when my children turned school age and were ready to enter Vanderveer. 3 years in, I am thoroughly impressed with the community that has been created by the administration, by the support staff, their warmth and welcome, but yet taking their job seriously enough to keep all children safe and sound. And when you talk about the teachers, how can you not mention how amazing they are? They are dedicated. They love the children and they deliver the curricula in a way that is engaging and motivating for the students. I'm really pleased with our entire experience and so grateful to be a part of such an awesome community.
Proud to be a Vanderveer student. I would like to be in this class. Why? Because I like to have new friends. About FAFSA. Reading I know it's fun to get on stage. But I follow the rules everywhere. I am proud to be a Vanderveer student because the teachers are really nice to us. We have fun. I'm proud that I do social projects with my teachers because they help me learn. I love my teachers because I like my principals and my teachers also. I like being a student at Vanderveer because I kind of want to be a scientist and I like math and I want to be really smart. Because when I came here, I wanted to be the one that's respectful. I want my teachers to be proud of me. We love Vanderveer, we love Vanderveer. Don't you too? Don't you too? It's because of students, it's because of teachers, and Mr. Moran, and Mr. Moran. We love Vanderveer!
I'll always be there in everything I do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you.
And that concludes our presentation. We are proud to be Vanderveer teachers. Thank you.
A couple things you guys should all know is that they should be commended also on some of the things that they included in that video. One of the things that you always hope is that teachers will integrate the things within their own creations that they're teaching their students. And one of the things that I talked to Charlene about beforehand was the green screen, and that was something new that they hadn't done before. that they're implementing, so
And we
that's
learn
awesome.
from it. You shouldn't stand too close to the grades. We're going to perfect it.
And I think one of the nice things too is that if you notice that the vocabulary that the teachers are using with the kids is showing through, because it's very natural for them to use the exact same vocabulary when they're talking about curriculum and assorted things. And then the last thing was the writing. Writing has been an area that, the teachers have been calling for since I've gotten here. And we've really implemented a new program, and it is soaring. And if you listen to all the different ones that were, the students that were talking, writing came up so many different times in a very positive way. So, and then I guess the last thing is, so many of the kids talk about lunch. Well, just so you know, Brian Boyce has about 3 of those lunches, so, lunch is his favorite too. And that concludes the district highlights.
Okay, well, if I may, sir, I also want to add kind of, one of my favorite parts of that was the young gentleman said, I kind of want to be a scientist when I grow up.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, my daughters went through Vanderbilt School and they received a great education, and I think that everybody there now has only amped it up a little bit, and the students are receiving a better education. Mrs. Hellwig had my daughter Ashlyn when she was there, and the one parent who said that her kids come home every day smiling. When my girls were at Vanderveer, every day they came home smiling. Now that I have one in college and one in high school, not so much so. And it's not because of the school, it's because of the young ladies and their personality. So, moving right along to our student board member report. Ms. Stitt, how are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's all yours.
So a lot has happened recently with the arts. There was the choral concert on December 19th, and on January 9th, the instrumental concert. Also, the play, the musical Pippin has started, rehearsal for that. And the set crew has been busy painting the sets for the shows, and the shows are beginning February 28th, and it's that weekend. Also, Ski Club has started, and there's been 2 trips where students are taken to and from Mountain Creek in Vernon, New Jersey, and it's really fun that we just get safe transportation there and get to ski with our friends and then come home.
Was there snow?
It's been all fake snow, which is not the best, but we're hoping for better conditions coming up. Yeah.
This weekend you're supposed to have snow.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully not till Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving right along to Finance Committee. Ms. Schweitzer.
It is recommended that items 1 through 6 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. 1 is the board secretary's financial reports. 2 is acceptance of monthly reports. 3 is payroll. 4 is the bills list. 5 is line item transfers. And 6 is a donation from Ms. Susan Cree in memory of her husband to Somerville Middle School for 2 Allied Marker Board activity tables and 1 Allied Marker Board round activity table.
Thank you for that. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Carlson, any discussion on items 1 through 6?
Can I just make a comment?
Yes.
I'm familiar with Susan Cree, and she lost her husband a year or so ago. And I know she was extremely grateful for middle school staff for how they supported her and her family at the time of her husband's illness.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
It is recommended that items 7 through 8 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. 7 is the bills list, and 8 is the travel expenditure resolution.
Being moved by Ms. Schweitzer, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Matthews. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
Do you want to do the certification of major account? Certification of major account status. Pursuant to NJAC 6A:23A-16.10C4, the Somerville Board of Education certifies that as of December 30th, 2018, after review of the board secretary's and treasurer's monthly financial reports, and upon consultation with the appropriate officials, to the best of its knowledge, no major account or fund has been overexpended in violation of NJAC 6A:23A-16.10C4, and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. Major accounts are current expense, capital projects, and debt service.
Thank you. Moving on to buildings and grounds, Mr. Quintillo.
Yes, I just want to reference Mr. Gabrielle's memo. The building management system their issues have been taken care of. All work orders there are being handled in a timely manner. In the middle school, they repaired the elevator and they repaired the HVAC system, and the work orders there are being done in a timely order. And at the high school, they've installed some new classroom locks for lockdown. They've repaired the Airedale units, and there the work orders are being handled in a timely manner as well.
Great. Thank you. Now one of my favorite reports, and not just because it's athletics and student activities, but it's with the vibrancy that Mr. Sergio brings.
Well, I'm going to try and throw as much vibrancy as my sore legs can put into an athletics report, but I want to thank you, Mr. President, and say happy winter to everybody. We are off and running with our winter sports. I first want to thank Kaylee Stitt for the wonderful activities report. I also want to add to that one of the most beautiful winter concerts is Hellwig, a wonderful showing. I think it was the Vanderveer winter concert, and I was there. Ms. Olson and I were there, and it was another beautiful show. I wanted to give you kudos for that as well. I also want to just touch up upon one other thing is, with all the activities and sports that we do have on the high school roster, I'm going to go through the rosters of all of our clubs here, our sports here in the winter. There's 27 male students on the wrestling team. There's one female in the roster, Amara Capers. There's 35 guys in the boys basketball roster. There's 34 girls. There's 24 on the boys fencing, 19 on the girls fencing, 17 on the boys swimming, 26 on the girls swimming, and of the 18-man roster on the hockey team, 9 are Somerville students. Okay, and there's 31 on the unified bowling roster. That does not include all of those other students that have tried out, and it just goes to show the interest in all of the extracurricular sports, clubs, and activities that are generated here in Somerville. So kudos for that. Now let's go into the sports. Wrestling, they're currently 5-5 overall and 0-2 in the conference, unfortunately, but the team placed second at East Brunswick Bear Invitational with first place finishes by Brendan Aldrich and Andrew Diodato. And I want to give a big shout out to Andrew Diodato, Tanner Donato, and Richie Herrera with their second, and third place finishes in the Somerset County tournament. Okay? Boys basketball is 5-2 in conference, which places them third in the Valley Division. The girls basketball team is 7-4 and 5-2 in conference, which places them in third place in the Valley Division, and they hosted their first. It says first annual on the Twitter feed, but when it's your first, it's not necessarily your annual. So they hosted their first alumni night. And how did they do that? They did that with a win over Bernards at the first ever. Okay, boys fencing, they are 2-2 overall, 5th in District 3. Girls fencing is 1-3 with 6th in District 3. Boys swimming, okay, they're currently 2-2 in the district, place them 8th place in the North 2 Group C. Girls swimming, 26 students on that roster, they're currently 2-2, and place them 8th in North 2 Group C. And one of my favorite sports, the Unified Bowling Team. Okay, the Unified Bowling Team won their season opener against Franklin. Seniors, Ciampola, Bullstead, and Burkhart led the way. Other pins up goes to Lexi Morris, Emily Cleary, and Matt and Zarski. Lexi and Emily showed their best 2-game average, and Zarski averaging over 100 pins. And just yesterday, senior Julian Bullstead put together another huge day in the lanes with a 137 and 139. Okay, they played their first against Franklin. They're 1-0 overall. So, and last but not least, one of the features I'd like to put together is signings and commits, and I want to give a big congratulations to Emily Markowski for her commitment to Moravian College. So, and that's my report, Mr. President.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Schultz. Moving on to curriculum, Ms. Van Horn, you move the items, please.
Thank you, please.
Okay, first I have a report on our December 11th meeting. We discussed the middle school and theater arts curriculum changes that will make it CUSAC compliant. We discussed the possible expansion of Edulastic to provide common assessment and data. The members received an overview of the student science grant and the recently received computer science grant. We reviewed progress on writing curriculum work and individual data conferences, and talked about initial plans for the February 15th PD Day. It is recommended that items 1 through 2 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Item 1, curriculum maps for the Somerville Middle School for theater, arts, and dance. And number 2, harassment, intimidation, and bullying.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved.
It is recommended that items 3 through 7 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Number 3, harassment, intimidation, and bullying report. Number 4, curriculum maps for Somerville High School in theater, arts, and dance. Number 5, curricular maps at Somerville High School, to approve all the curricular maps to include accommodation addendums to be CUSAC compliant. Number 6, field trips. And number 7, the update to a uniform state memorandum of agreement between education and law enforcement officials.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Sagan. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Staying with Ms. Van Horn, you're up for technology.
Okay, Technology Committee report. Somerville High School STEM Academy, the students in the Chrome Zone internship are designing projects and creating digital portfolios. The 2019-20 budget work is ongoing. Thin client rollout is complete. The Somerville High School computer science curriculum revision is ongoing. And we have been awarded a STEM grant for Somerville High School.
Thank you. Moving on, Borough Council Co-Liaison, Mr. Shugio, Ms. Matthews, any report?
No reports.
Great, thank you. Somerset County Ed Services, Mr. Pintillo?
There's no report, but I do want to remind you that I want to have a presentation done in the next couple of months.
Okay.
And I have a wonderful video that I'd like to share with the board.
That'd be great. Thank you. New Jersey School Board Association, Mr. Shugio.
Yes, I have no report, Mr. President. I know the next meeting will be in May, and I will solidify that date for you.
Excellent, thank you. Somerset County School Association, Ms. Van Horn?
Well, we met last night, Somerset County Vocational Technical High School. January is Board of Education Recognition Month, which was pointed out to us. We also got this handout, which is very helpful, 13 things school board members wish people knew about them. So that is available to the public. We broke into small group discussion and talked about current trends in health benefits, district communications, and our roles as board members, and improving board effectiveness. It was also recognized, thanks given to the Educational Leadership Foundation that provides funding for the county meetings and trainings that are held.
Great, thank you. Moving on to ad hoc residency, Ms. Schweitzer.
Be it resolved that the board finds that student number 203124 is not domiciled in Somerville and therefore is not legally entitled to continue to attend the Somerville Public Schools. And be it further resolved that the superintendent is hereby directed to effectuate the transfer of the student forthwith pursuant to law, and that written notice of this decision and of the family's right to contest same before the Commissioner of Education shall be served upon the parent.
Thank you. May I have a second for that, please? Thank you, Mrs. Olson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? So moved.
Mr. Jess?
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
we let Callie go?
Absolutely.
She doesn't want to step.
Cal, you don't even have to wait. When you're finished with your report, you can...
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you want to stay.
I've about 3 hours of homework left to do today, so.
That's the answer I wanted to hear.
Thank you.
Good night, Cal. Dr. T.
Personnel, resolved that the Board of Education approve and/or accept the superintendent of schools recommendations as follows. Appointments and salaries contingent upon verified documentation. Number 1, to approve a change in salary for Adrian Melo Pereira, which will be effective January 2nd. Number 2, to approve a change in salary guide placement for the listed staff members, and that'll be effective February 1st. Number 3, to approve the appointment of the listed staff members to work in the Title I Special Services Social Skills Program for the 18-19 school year. Number 4, to approve the appointment of Dawn Evans to the position of volunteer in that Title I Special Services Social Skills Program. Number 5, to approve the appointment of Samantha Alley to the newly created position of part-time preschool instructional assistant at Vanderveer School. Number 6, to approve the appointment of Linda McConaughey to the lead replacement position of teacher of Spanish at Somerville Middle School, which is a non-tenured position to fill a vacancy caused by resignation. Number 7, to approve an unpaid medical leave of absence for Tisha Wiggum, part-time instructional assistant at Vanderveer School, and that is effective January 14th through February 18th, or sooner if she's medically cleared. And number 8, to approve the retirement and resignation of Susan Moran, who would have been here tonight, but as we already heard, she had a loss of a family member. And that'll be effective June 30th.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I'd like just to wish Ms. Moran well. I know she will be missed. I truly enjoyed when my children were at Vanderveer. She always brought everybody to another level, and her infectious smile and laugh, and so I wish her nothing but the best. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Dr. T.
9 through 12 district-wide, resolved that the Board of Education approve and/or accept the superintendent of schools recommendations as follows. Appointments and salaries contingent upon verified documentation. To approve the appointment of the listed individuals to the position of volunteer at Somerville High School for the robotics team. Number 10, to approve the newly created position of part-time interim guidance counselor. And 11, to approve the appointment of Jennifer Marcello to the newly created part-time position of interim guidance counselor. Number 12, to accept the resignation of Carlos Marina from the position of bus driver for Somerville Public Schools. Number 13, to approve the termination of Remigio Sanchez Pedroza from the position of bus aide for the Somerville Public Schools. Number 14, to approve the appointment of Catherine Matalunas to the lead replacement position of teacher of English, and this is a non-tenured position at Somerville High School to fill a vacancy caused by a maternity leave. Number 15, to approve an unpaid medical leave of absence for William Penn, instructional assistant, Somerville High School, and that'll be effective January 11th to March 1st. Number 16, to approve the appointment of Jennifer DePace to serve on the school safety climate team at Somerville High School. And that's number 17, to approve the appointment of Melissa Stager to the position of district homeless liaison to replace Tanya McDonald for the remainder of the 18-19 school year. And that ends the personnel.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Just like to wish Mr. Penn well. I hope he feels better and gets back on his feet soon. He's a true gentleman and always has a kind word and a laugh and a little joke for everybody. So we wish him a speedy recovery. Yes, they do. They do, Mr. Penn. Especially when he joins the band up on stage.
Absolutely.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Is there any old business? No? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close old business, please?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So under new business, there are 3 ad hoc committees, which I'd like to name the people who are on them. So we have the Ad Hoc Security Committee. The chairperson will be Ms. Olson. Thank you very much for volunteering for that. And the committee members will be Ms. Matthews, Mr. Carlson, and Ms. Fabrizzi. For the Ad Hoc Negotiations Committee, I don't know if he is a glutton for punishment or what, but we'd like to thank Mr. Pintillo for again chairing that committee with Mr. Carlson and myself as the members. And for our Ad Hoc Residency Committee, we'd like to thank Ms. Schweitzer for again volunteering to chair that committee with Ms. Van Horn, Ms. Matthews, and Ms. Olson as the committee members. And I'd like to thank Mr. Trujillo for stepping in last week and for appointing all the other members of the committees. There were some people who asked to be moved around to different committees and things like that. So I'll let Mr. Boyce and Dr. Team know about those as well. Is there any other new business? No? If not, may I have a motion to close new business, please?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? So moved. And now we are open to the public.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Patrick Frame. I just want to welcome you to new board members. Thank you. The SCA looks forward to working with you. And I'd also like to bring up something else that's really pretty troubling. Dr. Tehan, you mentioned in your doctoral thesis that teacher retention is one of the most important aspects of an educational process. And unfortunately, here in the middle school, while here in the district, there's been 3 retirements just in the past month. And these 3 teachers have said they want to continue working here, but they just can't. Now, also on top of that, there's 2 teachers who quit the middle school this past month. All right, and that's, I don't know the specifics there, but it's, it couldn't have been good. And, well, like I said, the 3 teachers were retired, so they'd love to continue here, but it's not working for them. And thank you for bringing up Mr. Penn. I just want to say, I spoke to him the other day. He's doing well. He's in rehab right now. He's feeling much better, and he hopes to be back in March.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Where's the rehab at?
JFK? Over there, Edison?
Good. Great, thank you. Is there any other member of the public who'd like to speak? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public portion, please? Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I think this young lady here was...
They don't speak English. Does anyone speak Spanish?
No, sorry for eating.
That's okay.
Jerry, dile de lo que está pasando en el pueblo.
So on Friday, I was allowed to go to a library to get for my homeroom ELA, and then I asked the library teacher if I can get documentation because my nose started bleeding, and she sent me down to the nurse, and then the principal came at me and she was trying to grab me, so I ran, and then I got suspended because they called lockdown, so I went to a class, so I got suspended for 3 days.
No, dile que no creo que es justo
And
eso, suspender a un niño.
he thinks it's not fair that they suspended me for 3 days only because I ran because she was trying to grab me for no reason. And that they don't treat like all the kids the same.
Otra cosa que a veces yo estoy trabajando
And sometimes when he's working, they make him get out of work to come and get me, or if he doesn't get me, they're gonna send me to the police.
Entonces a veces yo le digo como no puedo ir en ningún momento y dice no es ahora mismo que tiene
And sometimes he tells them that he cannot leave the work, and they tell him that he has to come
Sí,
and get me.
yo tengo jefe y tengo
And he has
ONG que cumplir.
a boss, and he tells him that he cannot leave, but the school makes him, or they're gonna send me to the police station.
Otra cosa, dímele que por favor la próxima vez cualquier suspensión que tú estés hasta las 3 o hasta las 3 de la
The
tarde.
next time that they suspend me, like, to see if I can stay until, because my parents cannot leave their job because it gets in trouble with his boss. And they always, when they hold me, when they try to hold me, they hold my hand tight, and they don't want them to be touching me.
Please tell your parents thank you very much for the letter. And Dr. Tian has said that they are investigating it now, and that when he has all the information, that they will reach out. He will reach out to the board and also to your parents.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you. Anybody else from the public this evening? No? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. So at this time, we are going to go into executive session, and be it resolved that the Board of Education will move to recess into executive session to discuss a residency matter. The minutes of the executive session, to the extent permitted by law, will be made available to the public once the issues are resolved, subject to confidentiality requirements, and action may be taken. So may I have a motion to go into executive session, please? Thank you, Mrs. Olson. May I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Mack, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? And it is 7:50. We will be back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. May I have a motion to go back into public session, please? Second. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We're back in public session at 7:57, and I will turn over to our residency chair, Ms. Schweitzer.
Be it resolved that the board finds that student number 203340 is not domiciled in Somerville and therefore is not legally entitled to continue to attend the Somerville Public Schools. And be it further resolved that the superintendent is hereby directed to effectuate the transfer of the student forthwith pursuant to law, and that written notice of this decision and of the family's right to contest same before the Commissioner of Education shall be served upon the parents.
That's it. Great. Resolution being moved by Ms. Schweitzer. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Don't everybody speak at once.
Second.
Thank you. May I have a second, please? Oh, everybody. Who was the second?
We're
Just
very
Dr. Sadie?
attentive to this movement.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? We are adjourned at 7:58. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.